so happy we're alive.
Good evening, and welcome to Louisville Late Night. This evening we're in beautiful San Francisco, California.
A list of the 68 single molecule ingredients that all right. So you see, these are the odor principles of marijuana. 68 different ingredients. So now which one would you pick to say is marijuana? It turns out that all of those ingredients are also in many other things, like scroll down. For example, the next page, you see it says lime over there. Next to the last column, it talks about lime cold press. Look at the ingredients. It's the same ingredients. So you know, how do you, as a simplify, there is no single molecule odor for marijuana that anybody's come up with to know how to imprint dogs. And if you trace the history of dog training back to forever, there's always been a problem with the marijuana, but they're not. The dogs aren't very good, and they don't care about marijuana. And I went through, when I had my license to carry marijuana all over the world, I had a bag, and I went through a pack of 25 highly trained drug dogs. None of them could give a tickety-boo about anything. Nobody showed any interest at all. Recently up in Seattle, somebody went through the airport, a medical marijuana user goes through, dog goes right by the dog, and he goes back, this was in the paper, he goes back and says, "Excuse me, this drug dog didn't alert, but I'm carrying marijuana." Why? What? And the more I look into this, and I realize that if you read the newspaper carefully, basically what's going on is, you'll have marijuana arrests and marijuana busts, and they'll find some marijuana. The police will find it because they got a tip there's some there, or they accidentally come upon it, or it's somehow they find it, and they just happen to have a dog with them, and so they give the dog credit as if the dog found it, and then they go to court and say, "Well, the dog found the marijuana." They're not. It's theater. These dogs, first of all, nobody's come up with a way to, suppose you wanted to train a dog. Say you people have dogs. There's a dog here. I saw a dog walking around right here. Suppose we get the dog and we want to train the dog to smell marijuana. What would you do? What is marijuana? It's a multi-ordinate term. How many varieties? How many odors of marijuana can you think of? What do you do? Where do you get them? It's the odor of marijuana is very, very much related to geographic location and variety. I mean, the marijuana on the East Coast does not smell like the marijuana, even humans like the marijuana on the West Coast. Mexican marijuana doesn't smell like anything. Hydro from Florida, bubble gum, sweet sativa, chocolate, shoe polish, hay, moon grass. So what do you do? Well, let me show you a little video. This is all become a science. These are training boxes. Look at this video. Here they're going to train this dog. And look at these boxes they're using. They're using wooden boxes to train him. Now if you go back and look at science and how you train a dog, you never use a wooden box. You have to use a galvanized steel box called little sniffers to put the training with aids in. But now they've gone to wooden boxes. Look at this guy. He puts his foot up there on top of the thing, showing the dog what to do. But these boxes are used over and over again. Show some more other boxes. Show another other box. I'm showing you this to show you that 20 years ago, they weren't using wooden boxes. The dogs were being imprinted. Nowadays, they're not imprinted. They're being trained on these odor boxes made of wood, and then they're just using plain conditioning to reinforce that with a tennis ball. Here's an odor box for marijuana. You see, it's made of wood, and the guy's showing you that he takes a baggie of marijuana. Did you take a look at that bag? What's in that baggie? What is? And he uses these odor boxes are like $300 or $400 a piece. And then you see, here's the training facility. Now look at this. Yeah. So the question is, what's in that baggie? Where do they get it? What is that marijuana? What marijuana? What is? Is that the standard? That means that the dog, anytime ever in his life he encounters marijuana, it's going to be like that. You know, it's you can imprint dogs, cocaine, methamphetamine. They do a pretty good job on that if you imprint them. If you don't imprint them, the dog's really good. They get about an 85% fatal rate, or they give an indication about 85% of the time, according to this month's Spokane report. So what's going on with this? The idea that the dogs detect marijuana, it has no scientific basis. Nobody's figured out how to do it. It hasn't been done. Now the thing is, I was talking with Dale here a few minutes ago. People know about times when dogs find marijuana. I mean, sometimes they actually find it. And the way they find it is not because it's marijuana, it's because it's green vegetable matter. Turns out if you take any green vegetable matter and you put it in a baggie, it respires, it breathes. It breathes out carbonic acid, a single molecule. Carbonic acid happens to be an ingredient in dog urine. So any dog, you don't have to train the dog at all. You put vegetables in a plastic bag, the dog's going to be interested in it. This is how customs dogs work. So when people are going through airports, the custom dogs, the vegetable dogs, can actually find marijuana. But it's not because it's marijuana, and it's not because the dog is smelling something that's illegal. But when the dog, if somebody's coming through customs and you see the dog alerting, you say, oh, the dog is trained to detect marijuana. That's theater. The dog wasn't. The dog can't tell you what it's interested in. Can't talk. It's the handler that's the one that's saying what the dog did. The handler gives the dog all the credit. The dogs are getting so much credit now. I brought another, from the same article in Spokane. They brought the dogs in to look for illegal prescription or over-the-counter drugs. Alcohol and tobacco. They're not trained on any of that stuff. But you as a person reading the newspaper, you think that dogs are just, these dogs, the dog found my suit. Yeah, it's absurd. So the dogs aren't doing a very good job, and the science is perverted. And just quickly show some more odor boxes. Okay, so here's a facility using these same odor boxes. So you go, bring the dog down, and puts it there, sits down. Looks good, doesn't it? If you're going to buy a dog, you want to buy that dog as a drug.